Hello, footy tippers. Russ Barwick alongside Marc Dragicevic on ESPN taking a look at the latest round of AFL and the good things of the weekend, thanks to our great mates at Centrebet.com. Draga, we start Friday night footy over in the West.
Back over in the West again, this time with the Weagles. I think Big Magic, how impressive is he up forward?
North have been playing pretty good footy too.
They have been. They're very evenly matched, these two teams at the minute. Even midfields, I just think West Coast over at home, just better on the spread.
It'll be a high-scoring game no matter what happens. Both teams like to kick goals in a hurry. Essendon take on Brisbane Saturday afternoon at Etihad. You'd like to think the Bombers can bounce back from that last quarter fade-out, I suppose, against the Cats last week.
It really was. Hopefully the last couple of years, the hoodoo of the first 8 rounds doesn't come back to haunt them again, the Bombers, but they should easily count for Brisbane.
What about Hawthorn GWS? Want to pick a margin? 3 figures, 100 plus or minus?
Franklin, 13 goals, GWS 10. So we wouldn't mind seeing that again, wouldn't we?
Gold Coast take on the Bulldogs. Now, the Gold Coast were ultra impressive against Melbourne last week. The Bulldogs went for 3 quarters against North, but then faded out. I'm tipping a bit of a Gold Coast moral, and I like what they're bringing to the table.
Your moral versus my upset of the week. I think the Bulldogs will go up there and get a win. I think they're playing good enough footy. There's some exciting footy from some of their youngsters. If they can sustain it for more than 3 quarters this week, they'll get a win.
Talk about exciting football from youngsters. Well, Geelong's got it covered. Something like almost a dozen debutants since the 2011 Grand Final, my man says. Yeah. And that's a credit to their recruiting department. They take on Collingwood on Saturday afternoon late.
I can't believe that stats, how they can still be going as strong as they are. Their ability to play 4 quarters this week against Collingwood, that'll get them over the line. You know, it's pretty scary, the fact that they actually haven't done that all year. Yeah,
and the other game on Saturday night is Sydney taking on Fremantle at the SCG. Now, no love lost between Rossi Lyon and Johnny Longmire and all the other ex-Swans that are in and around the Dockers lineup.
Yes, it's going to be a great game at the SCG. Fremantle's defence is very, very, very good. So the minute Reid can't kick goals, I don't know what's going on up there with their forward line, so they're going to have to find different avenues to goal.
Well, they found one, but he's not due for another 6 or 8 weeks.
They just have to keep hovering around that top 4, so when he comes back, they can slide in.
Okay, well, Carlton take on Port Adelaide on Sunday afternoon. Now, Carlton were very disappointing Monday night football. Port Adelaide, probably not their best game, and I noticed on Monday night there was a couple of Port Adelaide coaching staff that were in the grandstands, including their senior coach and also their assistant coaches.
Yeah, they were having a good look at Carlton, who had 3 or 4 injuries early in that game. They came back, but they didn't play. I reckon Henderson's move forward, I reckon, was pivotal to actually getting them back in the game. So he can't
recover from those 4 or 5 injuries.
No, so he might stay forward this week. But like I said last week, Port Adelaide starts are still a concern.
Yeah, they're a real chance to cause a bit of an upset if they can turn
things around. I'm
going to
pick Port Adelaide.
Yeah, yes. I think so as well. Richmond should beat Melbourne, who were just disastrous last week. Enough said about that game. And Adelaide taking on St Kilda. I saw Adelaide firsthand on Sunday. They're now back. I know it was only GWS, but that was an impressive performance. But St Kilda were good Monday night.
Oh, definitely. I think Adelaide are back too. Lynch won't kick 10 again, but Dangerfield will dominate again. He's just a superstar.
Okay, let's wrap up Dragger's tips. Thanks to Centrebet.com, we've got the West Coast, Essendon, Hawthorn, no surprise. The Bulldogs to upset the Gold Coast, the Cats, Fremantle, Port Adelaide, Richmond. Wrapping it up with the Adelaide Crows. You can head to the website, Centrebet.com, for all the best odds on the latest round of AFL.